Hello guys, my name is Zara Annette and today I'm gonna do a book review on the greatest manga all over the Japan, which is called No Longer Human, and the author is Suji Shushima, known by his pen name Osamu Dazai. He is a Japanese novelist and author. One of his popular work is No Longer Human. He was born on June 19, 1909 and died on June 13, 1948, almost on his birthday. He did 9 suicide attempts with only 9 ending successful. He drowned himself in the river with his lover Tommy after finishing and publishing this book, which considered as suicide notes. This book is considered the greatest book all over Japan, even outside of the Japan. It is a manga adaptation of the novel by Junji Ito. No Longer Human is basically a suicide note. It is so depressing because it's based on the author's life. Most realistic portrayal of the mental health issue I've ever read. So we're gonna talk about the main character in this book. The name is Oba, the protagonist, of course. From the moment Oba was born, during his childhood, he was unable to become a human. In this book, there's 3 memorandums. The first one is the childhood life. The second memorandum is the middle high school life. And the third memorandum is basically his real life when his hair turning gray. So that's it. Oba is born from a wealthy family. Oba becomes the clown of his own family. He feels himself disqualified from being human. He couldn't comprehend human being, so he put on a mask to hide his suffering pain. And Oba, the only child that didn't know the meaning of becoming a human. Oba was assaulted and molested by his own servants. He thought that this is natural and how humans react. We all know that humans don't react like this. So, being a joker in this household, he could only entertain them in a certain time. Therefore, Oba couldn't understand humanity. Oba then attends school and become a clown once again. Put on a mask despite being in despair. Couldn't understand humanity and they couldn't get through Oba also. Oba then met someone called Takeichi that told him he's not truly happy with his life, which is so true. He's not truly happy with his life. They eventually become friends. Takeichi taught Oba to paint and art to express Oba's actual feelings and traumas and what he feels inside of him. The drawing was a portrayal of despair in Oba's life. Later, Takeichi disappeared. Oba started to consume alcohol in fear of the future. He then met an adult that is in the same interest, which is art, and they started drinking together and doing shameful things that started to make Oba's life fall into a downfall. Oba met a lot of women and played with their feelings in order to cope with his despair. He then attempted double suicide with one of his lovers, but Oba lived except for his lover. Oba then met another woman and was expelled from the university with his expenses was cut off. He went with multiple women before he met Yushigo. And for the first time, he lives in a normal life. And here goes the final book in the book. Oba lives with Yoshika, making a living and settling down. Then someone from his past life came. Then his normal life went away. Oba started drinking again. His alcoholism, depression, despair, and his disqualification rose again like a phoenix. Oba's suicidal thoughts crept in again. What did that even matter anyway? Because he's no longer human. Later then he became alcoholic and drug addict. Consuming himself, his tuberculosis appeared out of nowhere. He knew it was coming, and he knew it was the end of him. Oba then started to questioning his life. Is it a crime to live? A suicidal thoughts then rose in. His suicide attempt was from the fact that his life wasn't going anywhere. So what was the reason to live? He then was put in an asylum and was treated there. He got out from the asylum after years later and moved to another city. So what I really think about this book is the reason that Oba feels out of place because he was born with an ability to read people easily, but he couldn't understand himself very well. He was depressed, suicidal, and he had personality issues. And he was a traumatized kid. Imagine being assaulted and molested in really young age. He lost the woman he loved. He hated his best friend for being so destructive. In the end, he hated himself. We think our place in universe and our minds begins to reel. We cannot understand it, and I don't know if we ever will understand it. He always tried to overdo this and find himself not only losing his mind, and also plunging into despair because when you try to understand your reality, it just makes you so sad. So try to take away the idea and never try to understand your place. Keep moving forward and find as much as balance in your life as you can. No Longer Human is an absolute masterpiece when it comes to describing the horrors of humanity and living as a human in a society that you don't fit in. This one goes to some very dark places because if you're okay with that, I cannot recommend it enough. There is so much to digest in this book. I know it won't leave my thoughts for a long while. And it is. If you decide to pick it up, don't be surprised if you suffer an existential crisis while reading this. So I would rate this 4 out of 5. It is a good book, so make sure to read it. Bye guys, that's all from me. Thank you.